We're back on this LS4 tear down. When we left off, I had took off one of the heads, said I was going to take off the other one. Now I was thinking on the lifters, I never seen no lifters like that before. When I pulled it out, there was two that was down and then two that was like spring loaded. Well, this engine actually will run on 4 cylinders or 6 cylinders when it's at idle. It's supposed to be like a fuel saving feature or whatever, so I imagine that's why them lifters were like that. And a lot of people will do that delete on these, which will keep you running all 8 cylinders at all times. So I removed the other head and got everything out of the way. Now we're going to start here. We're going to remove the harmonic balancer. I had already taken this bolt out a while ago. It is a 24 millimeter. Now these things are hard to come off. You really need an impact to get them off. I guess it could be done without an impact, but you're going to be fighting it. I had to heat it up and get it out, but it did come out. They're really tight. Now, to pull off the LS style harmonic balancer, like I said, I went through, I think, 2 or 3 draw pullers. I broke them trying to get this thing off because it's on there for one, and for two, they're not made for that. You have to have a special style puller. So I borrowed one off my buddy, and let me show you what it is here. It's just a 3-jaw puller. I know it's going to be hard to see. I'm going to be getting some lights here. I'm going to go Black Friday to not Tractor Supply, but Rural King, and they're going to have some on sale. I'm going to get 2 of them. I'm going to hang them up. We'll have a lot better light in here. Doing the best I can right now, but I got to do something. Well, it's just a 3-jaw puller. It has a bolt that goes through. See if I can get you. It has a bolt that goes through the center like this. And let me try something. I don't know if there's any metal on this or not. Trying to rig up this thing isn't even metal. I was hoping this tripod was metal. Let me show you here. It's got a bolt here in the center and just 3-jaw. It looks just like a regular 3-jaw puller, but this thing's pretty heavy duty. Push that in there. If the jaws will reach, it'll be my luck. They will not. Oh yeah. Loosen it up a little more. Oh yeah, there we go. So we just did away. Maybe I wasn't supposed to use that to begin with. I don't know. I was just guessing. I seen it. I was using it. So let's try this now. I just put the 3-jaw straight in there. Pulled it straight off. Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Sometimes you outsmart yourself. Just like I just did. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this timing chain cover. These look like 10 millimeters. So let's see here. Tell you what, these DeWalt's are nice, man. Oh, there's 4 up underneath. 2 on the sides and 2 in the front. This is also, oh, one more. So we got 10 here. Now, I've been thinking about what to do with this engine. I don't really have no use for it. I need space, and I I need money, so I guess my next scrap run, I got some pretty good scrap haul coming up. I'm gonna strip this down, just get the aluminum price for it. I don't know how much it's gonna bring. Not enough, but it'll work. Let's see if I can't get this to come off. There it goes. I'm gonna stick off. I'm gonna throw this gasket. Oh, nice ceramic. This is probably aluminum too. So now we got that off. Now we got the oil pump here. These are bad on these engines for going bad here. Looks like it's just 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I wrong? Oh. Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to remove this. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna have to take the oil pan off first. So we're gonna roll this up. I'm gonna get this oil pan off. Well, hold on. Still got some fluids inside. Did not know. Alright, now I picked this up from Jake's. This just slides under your engine stand. Now, I bought this. This is a 2,000 pound one from Harbor Freight. It's a little bit overkill, but it doesn't quite fit underneath here because of the way these legs fold down. So I just slide some 2x4s up underneath to kind of support the nose of it so it doesn't drop down. But this thing will catch all your liquids. If you do any type of engine work or anything, this thing's invaluable. Now, I was trying to pull this out earlier. She's stuck in there. I found a wrench. Got it loose now. It'll pop off here. Put it down here and let it drain for a while. Alright, now to get these oil pans off, it's a bunch of bolts. I'm guessing 10 millimeter. I'll let you know here in 2 seconds. Yeah, 10 millimeter. There's a bunch of them here. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 4 that we took out for the timing chain cover. Actually, we only needed to take out 2 for the timing chain cover, so we'll just edit that to the back. The other 2 that I took out actually go to the oil pan. There was 2 to the timing chain cover, so we actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like about 13 maybe. Let's see. I scraped the hell out of this oil pan. This oil pan isn't really something I want to hold on to anyway for anything I want to do, because I don't know if these, yeah, there may be 2, there's 2 more in the back, it looks like, yeah, they're longer. 2 more in the very back next to the flex plate. They're a little bit longer. Throw these over here. Let's see. There we go. Put it right off. Get rid of this gasket. Probably scrap this too. It's aluminum. Like it's held in by some dowel pins. Dowel pins are actually in the gasket, it looks like. Sit this down. It's gonna take a little bit of brute force to get that out of there. All right. Got that out. Yeah, this will be going. Now the oil pan that you really want to look for is a low sump. It's got a low area in the back that holds your oil. Can't think of the name of it right now, but it that one there's, I'll show you what I'm talking about. How this here, you can see this bottom is fat all the way through here. The one I'd be looking for would be something that would come here and then go up, and it'd be look more low profile to allow me to more room to put it in. Won't be dragging the ground, won't get in the way of your cross members or anything. All right, so next we can get this oil pump off here. It looks like there's just one bolt here. Maybe a 10, maybe an 8. 10. Go straight to your old pickup tube. Now this should come right off now. Slide straight over your crankshaft snout. I'll take this apart. This is probably aluminum too. I'll go ahead and scrap this too. The gears inside are probably metal. And just take this cover off and take them gears out, and I'll scrap that too. Set this over here for now. Alright. Now get this out. Get this old pickup tube out. Looks like it's the one bolt to your oil pump. And there's one bolt right here. Get on it. Oh, it's bigger than a 10. Let's see what we got here. Try 13. Yeah, it's a 13. Just a nut onto a stud. Pick that tube up. This is gonna go to the scrap yard too. Probably save that nut for something, who knows. Now we'll remove this cover here next. While I got it upside down. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then would have been 6 where the pickup tube was. 7, 8. And stick straight up like this. Now we can see our main bearings, and our crankshaft. Now these are actually, I know if you know anything about old school small block Chevys, there's a thing like it was talking two bolt mains, 4 bolt mains. Now if you're building a higher performance engine, you'd want to try to get a 4 bolt main, which is what I got over there. I got a 010 4 bolt 350. That, what I mean by 010 is that it has a higher nickel content than a lot of the other ones. Now I'll show, whenever I go to build that, I'll show you how to find out if you can see the block. Those are better blocks for high performance. And like I said, you want to try to get a 4 bolt main. Now these, like I said, are 6 bolt mains. And I'm going to show you why it's 6 bolt mains. Release this. Flip this over. I'll zoom out some, and I'm going to show you here. Now, what we got is that brown light. You gotta love that. It's pretty nice. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be like a typical old 4 bolt main, but they don't stretch all the way across like this. But if you look on the sides here, there's one here, and there's one directly on the opposite side of it. Now, that makes 6 bolts. So it's a 6 bolt main, which allows for higher horsepower and more durability. So now these are going to be on there tight. or torqued down to a lot. I don't know what it is. But all we have to do is just remove these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main bearings. And I'll have to remove this flex plate too at some point. I believe it's into the reluctor wheel in the back, which I'm sure it is. So I'll remove these what I'll do is I'll remove these main bearings. And I don't know if I got enough room behind this or not to get these flex plate bolts out. So I may have to set it on the ground to get that flex plate off. But once that's off, the crankshaft will lift straight out. So I may wait to even let's just wait to do these main bearings until I get this flex plate off. Let's go ahead and remove this timing chain. This looks like a 10 millimeter. Got 13 on here. Switch back to our 10 here. There's just 3 bolts here holding it on. And this little plastic piece here is like a timing chain tensioner, like a guide almost. Not sure the exact term for it, but once them 3 bolts are off, we can wiggle this thing out of here just like that. Now this, I believe, is pressed on. This little sprocket here is going to be pressed onto the crankshaft. I'm not going to be worried about getting that off because this crankshaft really can't be used for anything. If you're not going to use it for your front wheel drive application, this crankshaft is actually smaller than a typical crankshaft. There's not much that you can switch from a rear wheel drive to a front wheel drive LS motor, which is unfortunate because I was actually hoping that I'd be able to do some switching. I'm just removing. We can go ahead and get this camshaft out of here. I'm going to remove this camshaft plate here. $10 millimeter, 4 bolts. Plates off, whole bunch of bolts there, ain't it? Yeah, I'm gonna roll this back over real quick. Now this should just pull straight out. I'm not even worried about saving this crankshaft, but when you're pulling them out, if you're worried about damaging your bearings or anything, you just twist it just like that. Keep twisting. You're pulling, but you're doing it gently. You don't want to force nothing. Don't want to nick your bearings. You don't want to hurt nothing. And then bam, the crankshaft's out of there. So, well, like I said, I can't use this crankshaft for nothing. Or this camshaft. I apologize for that. My mind's still on getting that crank out. I don't even think I can use that cam for nothing. I'll find out. It's sitting over there. If not, go to the scrap yard with the rest of this garbage I got. Now we just about got this thing took all the way apart. Now I want to get this crankshaft out. In order to do that, I need to get this flex plate off in the back. In order to do that, I'm going to have to take this off the stand and pull the bolts off. So what I was doing was I'm gonna get my chain, I'm gonna hook it up to these 2 bolts here, and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm just gonna pull it off. And once I do, we can pull the main bearings off. We pull the main bearings off, we pull the crank out, once the caps off, then we're gonna pull the rod caps off. We pull the rod caps off, then we can pull the pistons out. We'll pull the pistons out, we'll drop the crankshaft down. Once that's down, this engine is disassembled. So let me go ahead and get this off the stand, get this flex plate off. We'll be right back. Alright, I couldn't get my damn cherry picker to work again. Garbage. That's what happens when you buy cheap shit, but you know, what are you gonna do? Sit around, moved it a lot, whatever. So I just had to manually pull the motherfucker off. Now, took these off, these are 15, pulled it off. Now there's a back cover here for your seal, for your reluctor wheel and your crankshaft. These look like about 10 millimeter. So I'm gonna pull these off. Pull these off real quick while I got it off. And I'm gonna have to pick this damn thing up and put it back on there, I reckon. It's got some weight to it. I don't recommend doing it like that at all. But, you know, the show must go on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 12 bolts it pops off, so I go ahead and knock that off now. I'm not gonna let you watch me fumble around putting this thing back up there, but I'm gonna get it back up there. Now I stopped before. I took this back cover off. I took it off the engine stand, and I couldn't get my cherry picker to get it off, so I put it down by hand, and then couldn't get it to get back up. So now I'm just gonna finish this on the floor. Now I wouldn't do this if you was, I'm just scrapping this block, so I wouldn't do this if I was you, if you're building the engine, but I'm just scrapping this block and I want to get it finished. So now we're going to take these main caps off so we can free our crankshaft up. We'll take the main caps first, and then we'll take the rods out individually. Now the main caps, like I mentioned before, are 6-bolt mains, and there are 3 different bolt sizes. You have 4 bolts on the top that you can see easily right here. And then there's 2 bolts, 1 on each side. The 2 outside bolts on the top are 15, the 2 inside are 13s, and the 2 sides are 10. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through and get all the 15s, 13s, and 10s all at once to keep me from having to change sockets so much. That's all the 15s. There's all the 13s. I'm going inside and get all these 10s real quick. Now we got all the bolts loose. We get these main caps off. These things do not like to come off easy. And if you're saving this, there's a couple different things you can do. They actually sell something that, like a slide hammer adjustment. You can pull it off with a slide hammer with 2 bolts here. You could use the old bolts and make your own little thing to pull up on. Just a little piece of flat stock with a couple holes. Put your bolts through, and you could pull it up that way. I don't care, so I'm just gonna tap it off. Now you could do this, you could probably tap it off with a dead blow hammer. I wouldn't use nothing but a dead blow if I was worried about this. A little pry bar now that I got it loose. Pop it straight up. I got this one loose. Gonna scrap these two. These are what your main caps look like. See if I can get you a good shot from the side. 4 bolts on the top. Let's see here, 4 bolts on the top, 2 bolts into the side right here. Now on them is going to be your main bearings here. These look pretty good. If I'd have had something to put this in, I sure would have loved to kept it. Now we'll take these rod bolts off, and I don't know if I have an 11.5 inch, so I'm going to attempt to do it with the 3/8 impact. May get them, may not, we'll see. Pretty powerful though. Now you're going to have to rotate this at some point. See, these also have the rod bearings too. They're in good shape as well. Get as many as I think that's it. Alright, now you get all your main bearings and rod bearings off, and this just pulls right up. Just like that. Looks good, but like I said before, these are actually shorter than any other LS style motor. Now, I'm not sure I can get this out. This is a good way to do it too if you got a wooden hammer. Stick it down there, push it. Just like that. That's even. It's real gentle. It's a good way to get them out. I'm not so much worried about being gentle. There's all your pistons and connecting rods. Those will go to the scrap yard too. Really have no use for them. Not sure. I may, before I 100% send these to the scrap yard, I may see if these will work in another 5.3 two-wheel drive, and I may save them. But that's it. That's it. Get these plugs out. Get the rest of them dowel pins out. And that's it. All the way down to the bare block. Thanks for watching, guys.